Here on Good Morning SKN Connections, we welcome the opportunity to talk with our nationals wherever they are in the world. Today, we are pleased to connect with Peter Douglas, a St. Kitts and Nevis national studying in Taiwan. He was part of the production team for the Battle of the Middle song and music video for the 2022 graduating class of the China Medical University. Welcome to Good Morning SKN, Peter.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, SKN, and thank you for having me.
You are certainly
it's our
welcome.
pleasure.
So what is the rationale behind the Battle of the Middle?
Well, of course, the Battle of the Middle is very difficult to explain, but it's basically describing students, like medical students or any students in particular, who probably maybe in the middle of the studies. And now what's going to happen is that the past difficulties is trying to defeat them, but the end is trying to overcome. So that's why we say the battle of the middle. So you're trying to conquer that fight between the difficulties and also the end.
Well, that's a very interesting concept. I never looked at it quite like that, but you know, as someone who's gone through it, Peter, I'm pretty sure that this was an interesting project for you to engage in. So what was it like working on the project?
Well, for me at first, it was more about just having fun and trying to just do more than just studying, you know, because music was always my passion. And while working on it, it was actually very strange. My first time actually doing collaboration with people, you know, with Taiwanese people from the Taiwan culture. So it was interesting. Actually, also it was interesting how I actually met the vocalist. Yeah, it was all online to Instagram, and it was really tiring at some time, frustrating at some time, but in the end, I enjoyed the project.
Lovely. So let's take a look at the music video courtesy of the China Medical University and its Student Association.
之前，我们回头看度过的时光，把这段经历永远留在我们记忆中，是梦想还是迷惘？不是才大一，怎么转眼就要毕业？一年过一年，总共飞到了期限，自由的梦想，展翅能飞翔。我以为这是我小时候的渴望。We were going downtown, back over for us, Now we're here today to walk the brand new stage. By the middle was a fight, seemed to defeat us, but all the journeys will only get a better one. By the middle was a fight, pushing us to overcome. And in the chapter we conquered.
Hey, Peter. Yes. So, you know, I'm enjoying this interview with you, but I could listen to that song all day.
That's actually jigging out to it. Yes,
actually, I think maybe you should, you know.
Nice.
So let's talk about this. So you were actually the lyricist, the composer, and the arranger. And I'm telling you, I literally can listen to that song all day. So let's talk about not only the joy that you experienced in doing this and perhaps some of the lessons that you learned in doing this as well, but also the challenges in writing the music in Mandarin. Let's start there.
Okay.
Were there any?
Okay, well, let's talk about the challenge writing in Mandarin. Of course, Mandarin Chinese is, which is the most common language here, is actually tonal. So yeah, it's have a tone, right? Okay. So when you're trying to write a song, right, like an English song, we just use we just listen to the melody and we're not really paying attention to our pronunciation or whatever, right? We're just going to flying with the melody. However, in speaking Mandarin, it is actually a little bit different because the tone is going to be affected after you had to put it to a song that have different instruments and have different melodies, so it's going to be really difficult. So when the singer and myself was actually trying to put the entire song together. It was very difficult, And I did for the second verse. I actually did the Chinese writing. I actually did it as well, and it was really difficult. So I was like back and forth trying to change the lyrics, and the whole goal was that even though I'm international, the song is actually still for the students here who are actually Chinese. So we wanted to make sure that we have most of the lyrics actually in Chinese. However, the lyrics were so good that we couldn't really change much. Right? So we just had to put it together and make it bilingual.
Okay. So can you give us a few lines from the song, and can you also expound on your favorite line of that song?
Well, my favorite part is actually in Chinese. I think I gave you guys the translation of the Chinese part, which is in the second verse, right? Okay. And it's basically saying, I'm gonna say it in Chinese first, which is 通向道路之前，我们会读看, right? And that line basically saying, here basically saying, before we part ways, let's look back at the time that we spent together, right? Okay. And then I went on to saying, and keep this experience in our memory forever, right? Whether it is a dream come true or it is a loss. And that's like deep for me. I actually wrote that, right? And also the pre-chorus, which is, we are going down, down, down. But courage floated us up, up, up. That's also my favorite part of the song. Yes.
Okay. Well, you sound very authentic with your Chinese Mandarin, I must say.
I try my best.
Practice, right? Practice.
Yes.
How long have you been in Taiwan, Peter?
Oh, actually, I don't know exactly, but I think it's going on for about 6 years now.
Wow. Okay. So I would imagine, yes. So yeah, practice.
School is so much fun for him. He doesn't even know the time is just going by, and he's like, "Yeah, this is cool. I'm enjoying this, right?"
Indeed, indeed.
Yeah, I don't love to count the days now. I just love to just keep going until then. Okay. Well, so I'm presently studying actually my 4th year of studying physical therapy or what we say physiotherapy, right? Okay. Which is most people know me in English to be more of a sports physical therapist. But what I'm studying here is actually a bit more high level in terms of clinical physical therapy. So I deal with basically any patient you could think about, I will have to work with. And also, that's all the question I got. So much I want to say.
No, we were just asking what you were studying. So what were your experiences like studying as well? You can keep going.
Yeah. So basically, it's just physical therapy, and then I'm actually doing some other like trying to get my Chinese better, so I started to do some more studies in Chinese, and also Taiwan also have a second language, which is Taiwanese, right? And also doing other studies in Taiwanese.
Okay. It is difficult for the average person to learn a language, Peter. Can you let us know how we can pursue that path?
Well, I'm actually, if you want to know more about that, actually writing some stories about that. But the basic technique that I used was that language is not just like taking an exam and then like, okay. I can speak, right? It's basically a lifestyle. It's something that you do every day, right? So the best thing to do is to speak every day. But how would you do that is maybe by doing the stuff that I love. Maybe if I love to play with your phone, and it just, like for me, I put my phone entirely in Chinese. So if I want to use it, I have to learn how to read Chinese, right? So that was like one of the methods that I use. I also watch movies, listen to music, whatever, all in Chinese. So I surrounded my life and my lifestyle entirely into Chinese, and that's how I actually forced myself to learn.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, it's great. And I know that you are adept at what you do. I know before when we were talking, you mentioned something about Naima Hazel. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to talk about what you wanted to talk about, Peter.
Okay. Well, the reason why I mentioned her because she actually was the one of the last person I saw before I left Taiwan.
Okay.
Before I left, I left to go to Taiwan. Actually, I think we took the same plane together as well.
Yes, Peter, go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, I was saying that she's actually the last person I actually saw from Stinkits before I left. Okay. I left for Taiwan, and we took the same plane together, and we were talking, and she wished me all the best in my studies. So.
Of course, and you would remember her, I think, maybe from Washington Archibald High School. She was a teacher at the time you were there, correct?
Right.
You wildcats. You wildcats.
I don't know Mr. Morris as well, I remember.
Yeah, I told you can call me Jamie. That's fine. Yes, Peter is one of my students, always very brilliant, and I'm very proud of you, Peter.
Actually, I wanna mention something here. Mr. Morris, I don't know, but he actually had like one of the opportunity to see like the first stage of my passion for music in our first farm, where we had the assembly, and then I actually got some buckets and what's not and bring them to the school just to make a drum set so that we could have a better diversion. Yeah, and that was like cool. So every time I think about yeah.
Oh, Jamie, you're inspirational.
Well, in the next video, we'll do a video, okay? We'll do a video together, maybe.
So, Peter, how has the experience been transitioning from St. Kitts to Taiwan?
Well, of course, as we said, we do have cultural shock, and it's a different environment, different mentality, different habits. But I think overall, because I was willing to just forget everything that I actually remember about back home, and just was able to be open-minded, as I say, and really go straight in. I wasn't afraid to do anything or say anything. So I think that's how I actually was able to come from being a Caribbean into more of like a Taiwanese.
And you do sound, even the English, you sound like a Taiwanese.
Oh really? So you're saying that my accent changed?
You are so authentic with it. You are.
Oh, thank you.
You've been there long enough.
You're welcome.
You've been there long enough, Peter, so you'll pick up certain things.
Yes.
Are there any particular aspects of the Taiwanese lifestyle or culture that resonate with you?
Of course, I think one of the most what I call it is like it's very convenient in terms of transportation. Like I've been here for 6 years, and even though I have license, I could drive and I could ride a scooter. I've never really used personal or private transportation. I always use public transportation. So I think that it's really convenient. Like you could go anywhere just using the public transportation.
Nice.
Definitely, that's
also,
a little different. Yeah.
Yes. Also the people, man. The people is really kind. Of course, there's maybe some bad experience here and there, but overall, the people is really once they're willing to speak Chinese and really open with them, they're willing to do the same thing.
Nice.
That's great.
So you mentioned 2 languages that you are aware of up there. Do you know of any more? There is.
Yes. They actually have others, which is they have the Abmo region, so they have Hakka, like I think it's Hakka, and some others. Like there's a lot, but I don't remember in Chinese. So I can't really translate it. Yeah, but there's different based on the tribes and the different origin. They have different languages, but the main 2 is actually Mandarin Chinese and also Taiwanese, which is most older adults will actually use Taiwanese. So that's one of my difficulties right now. I have to practice Taiwanese, so when I get to the hospital, I can communicate.
Oh, lovely. Well, good luck practicing your Taiwanese and do your best.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Peter, we have about 40 seconds left. I'm really pushing it here, but I do want to give you an opportunity to speak to other people who might be considering attending school in Taiwan or just outside of St. Kitts and Nevis. What would you say to them?
Okay. Well, I would say it doesn't matter what you think inside. I think the best thing to do is go out there and try to experience it, and then you actually know the answer. If you check the video, you actually see my code, and in the end of the video, actually gonna tell you more about that. Yeah, and I also will just wish you all the best, and don't be afraid to just do what your heart tell you, and just reach for the highest standard. And I welcome you guys to come and try something new. Doesn't matter if you go to Taiwan or any other way in the world. Yeah, always good to try something new. Thank you.
Hey, Peter, thank you so much. It's been great reconnecting with you in this segment of Connections. I'm going to remember Battle of the Middle. Yeah. Definitely going to check it out after I leave here. All right. So great to see you again.
I'm sorry, but I want to say like the song is on all the platforms, on the music platforms, on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you can get it. So you could also support it there.